What's going on, swim fans? Welcome back to Whiteboard Wednesday, and on today's episode, I'm going to share with you the 5 biggest mistakes swimmers make when it comes to kicking. We're going to be talking about all 4 competitive strokes, the 3 styles of kick, the dolphin kick, the flutter kick, and of course the breaststroke kick. In this video, I'm not only going to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes, but some different ways that you can actually improve upon your technique through training and also doing a few different drills. At the end of the video, I'll share those. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. So make sure you watch this video until the very end. Now, if you guys are new here, welcome to MySwimPro. My name is Faris Sabati, I'm the CEO, and I help you take your swimming to the next level. So if you're looking to swim faster and smarter than ever before, you've come to the right place. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and let me know down below in the comments what your biggest challenges are with kicking, and we're gonna help you solve those. But let's get right into this video. The first mistake is the size of the kick. Now I'm gonna go over the size of the kick for each of the different strokes, but first we need to understand, how do you get faster at swimming? There's only 2 ways that you can swim faster. Either number 1, you reduce drag, or you increase propulsion. Now this applies to swimming as well as kicking. And the easier one that we can focus on is actually reducing the amount of drag that you have. So when we're thinking about, well, how do we reduce the amount of drag that we have? I wanna have a bigger kick so I can pull more water and go faster. Yes, you can have a bigger kick and you can have more water in between your legs, but that's gonna increase the amount of drag that you have because your kick extends outside the profile of your body. And that can actually make you go slower. We'll use breaststroke, for example, because when you do breaststroke, you might think if you have a big frog kick, you're gonna pull way more water with your legs. That actually makes it slower because you have so much drag because your legs are sticking outside of your body like a frog. And we're not built like frogs, so that's okay. The way you do it in breaststroke is you actually wanna keep your knees and your heels inside the frame of your body. And at the end of the video, I'm gonna talk about a few different drills that you can actually work on this. But basically, you don't want your knees to extend past the width of your shoulders. If your knees go wider than your shoulders, your kick is too big and it becomes inefficient. When we're talking about for dolphin kick or flutter kick, it's similar, but in a 90-degree plane of motion different than breaststroke. So we think about how big your dolphin kick is, your flutter kick is, if it basically extends past the profile of your body more than a certain amount, it depends on your size, strength, and overall length, then it becomes inefficient. Now this is different for every swimmer. The tempo factors in as well. But think about it, you want to kick inside of a cylinder. So if you're doing flutter kick, the amplitude of your flutter kick should be no more than ½ a meter from your heel to your toe. If you're talking about your dolphin kick, it can be a little bit bigger, but it still needs to be inside of some kind of a cylindrical shape to reduce your overall drag. So big mistake number 1 is just having too big of a kick. And when you have too big of a kick, it actually increases the amount of drag that you have, not necessarily increasing propulsion at the same level. Now, the second biggest mistake is kicking too much. I know this sounds really counterintuitive. If you want to swim faster, kick faster, right? Wrong. Unless you're doing a sprint. If you're doing something short and you're able to just put all your energy into this effort, yes, swimming a sprint, kick as hard as you can, go as fast as you can. But when it actually comes to swimming training, kicking too much can actually slow you down. And I see plenty of swimmers, especially beginners, they just kick too much. And I tell them, hey, you know what? Just don't even worry about your legs. Let them float, throw a pull buoy on, do something like that. Don't worry about your legs. Focus on your arms, your body rotation. That's more important. And there's a couple of reasons because of this. When it comes to your legs, think about your blood supply and increasing oxygen flow. Your legs are huge, huge muscles. They suck a lot of oxygen. So when you're trying to swim for a longer period of time, it's actually more efficient, instead of having a continuous 6-beat kick, to have a little bit less focus on the kick and worry more about the hips. The rotation, in freestyle at least, comes from your hips, same as backstroke. But you don't need to have that much of an effort on your legs themselves to generate this kind of propulsion. It's a rotational momentum that comes from your hips. And think about how kicking supports your technique and really driving from your hips. That's super, super important, but definitely big mistake is kicking too much. I know it sounds crazy, right? Now, the third biggest mistake is skipping leg day altogether. When I talk about leg day, I'm saying swimming leg day. So basically just not working on your kick at all. Just because I say kicking too much can be a problem doesn't mean you don't do any kicking at all. You don't do any kicking sets or drills. 4 different ways that you can actually work on your kick, work on your legs, leg day in swimming, it has to do with kicking volume. So doing dedicated sets, focus on your kick. This can be any of the strokes. It can be with a kickboard, in streamline, above the water, below the water. If you look at any mid-level or elite level program, you're training anywhere from 10 to 50% of your entire workload just focus on kicking. You might go to a top level swimmer and look at their workout and be, wow, 50% of this workout is just kick, or 30%. So if it's a 4,000 meter workout, maybe 1,500 to 2,000 of it is all just kick at different speeds, different technique. There's also a lot of drills that you can do. We'll talk about a few of them that you can work on developing your kick technique, and that might be anywhere from 5 to 20% of the total volume of the workout. So again, if it's an 8,000 meter workout, maybe you're doing 1,000 meters of drills, really focused on the core and developing that kick. And of course, you can kick while you're swimming, so don't completely forget about kicking altogether, but depending on the speed that you're going and the type of set, make sure you're engaging your legs at the right level. And of course, you can train your kick out of the water. We talk about dryland training. There's different things that you can do from a training equipment perspective inside of the water as well. Let's get into the next biggest mistake, which is having poor technique. Now, this is really important, guys. Pay attention. 3 different styles of technique. We've got dolphin kick, the fly. We've got backstroke kick, freestyle kick, which is flutter kick, and then we have breaststroke kick. Let's go through each of these and talk about what does the perfect technique actually look like. When we're talking about butterfly, it's the dolphin kick. You do that underwater throughout the stroke, and of course for backstroke and freestyle when you push off the wall. Now ideally you have what's called a sine curve or a cosine curve for all my math geometry friends. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to mimic an equal distance kick in both directions. Now your body is actually a lot stronger in one direction compared to the other, but it's really important that you kick in both directions. And a lot of the best swimmers in the world, this is a big difference between a really good underwater kicker and a really poor underwater kicker, a dolphin kick swimmer, is that when you kick butterfly or flutter kick even, you have to kick in both directions. And on the down kick, you're using your hamstrings, glutes, and lower back. It's not just your hip flexors and your quads and the front of your diaphragm. On the up kick, you have to use both sides of your body to generate that propulsion. And that applies not only for the dolphin kick, but for the flutter kick as well. And that's what you use in backstroke and freestyle. In backstroke and freestyle, it's really important that you keep your legs as straight as you can. There's very minimal knee bend, and you're kicking from the hips. Your toes are pointed. And these fundamentals apply for the dolphin kick and butterfly, as well as for backstroke and freestyle with the flutter kick. Now, breaststroke is a whole nother ball game. I'm a breaststroker, and I have a pretty natural breaststroke kick, and I'm terrible at the others. Normally, people are either one or the other. You're either a really good dolphin kick swimmer, you can point your toes really easy, and you're terrible at breaststroke kick, or vice versa. Let me know down below in the comments which category you fall under. But when you do breaststroke kick, it's really important that you keep your knees inside of your body profile. You don't let your knees sweep out past the width of your shoulders, and you have a nice quick whip kick, and you're able to flex your feet all the way through the kick and have your heels touch each other at the end of the kick. Now, the 5th biggest mistake is just having poor flexibility. Now, this is, again, somewhat genetic the way that you start out, but you can always improve your flexibility over time the more you swim. And if you put intention behind being able to point your toes or have the right, even groin or hip flexibility for the breaststroke kick, that'll go a long way. So by improving your flexibility, you're actually going to reduce your drag because you're able to point your toes better in butterfly, freestyle, and backstroke. And you can do this by stretching, using equipment. Using fins is a great way to actually improve your overall flexibility in the water. Now let's talk about a few different ways that you can actually improve your kicking technique. We're gonna talk about drills. This is a bonus round right here. Now, my favorite drill for working on your dolphin kick, that undulation, is called flow drill. This is where you're on the surface of the water. You can do it below the water as well. You're basically in a Superman position. Your arms are extended, they're straight. You can use a snorkel and fins to really help you focus on this. Keep your eyes down. You're gonna press with your chest, and you're gonna press your chest down and forward. Your hips are gonna come up, and you wanna feel like a dolphin, kind of doing the worm on the surface of the water. This will really get you to engage all parts of your core diaphragm. From the front side, you've got your hip flexors and your quads. On the back side, like we talked about, your hamstrings, glutes, and lower back. all very, very important to incorporate. I love doing 25s like this. It's a great warm-up, really helps you overall in swimming, especially for dolphin kick and also for freestyle and backstroke as well. Now, the flutter drill that we're gonna talk about is called straight legs in streamline on your back. So I have SLOB over here. That's an acronym for streamline on your back. The way this works, you're gonna be in streamline on your back, and you're gonna do a flutter kick. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna pretend as if you're kicking inside of a bucket, and you have to keep your feet and your legs absolutely straight. There is absolutely no knee bend when you do this drill. Now, when you do swim and when you do normal kicking, you will actually bend your knees a little bit. But for this drill, you're gonna focus on keeping your legs absolutely straight with a very, very small amplitude. So the distance from your toes to your heels is way less than a meter, and you're generating all of this propulsion with absolutely straight legs. You do that for a few 25s, and then you transition into more normal kicking. You're gonna feel really fast because you've got great muscle activation. Then if you add fins, you're gonna feel even faster because you've got great muscle activation, and then you add fins and you've got great resistance to the water. It's also gonna help you increase your flexibility. It's all gonna work together and it's gonna be amazing. So I like that drill for working on your freestyle kick, your flutter kick, and backstroke as well. And then finally for breaststroke, this is my favorite, heel tag on your back. Now as a breaststroker, this is something I've been doing for over 20 years. I love this drill. Basically, you're on your back, but instead of having your hands in streamline, you're gonna have your hands underneath your butt and you're gonna focus on tagging your heels with your hands under the surface of the water. Now, when you do this, it's really important to keep your hips at the surface of the water and don't let your knees pop above the surface. Also, make sure you keep your knees inside of the profile of your body. Don't let your knees go outside wider than your shoulders. So hopefully we got some good B-roll. You can see what this drill looks like, because it's really important to remember in swimming, there's only two ways you can get faster, and that applies to kick. You can either decrease the amount of drag that you have. Remember, water is 800 times more resistive than air, more dense than air, or you can increase propulsion. And by focusing on these drills and not making any of these major mistakes in kicking, you can reduce your drag and increase your propulsion. And if you guys haven't checked out my new book, Swim Like a Pro, make sure you check it out. Link down below in the description, a holistic guide to swimming faster and smarter than ever before. And of course, if you want a structured training program, make sure you check out the MySwimPro app. We incorporate all of these drills into the workouts themselves. And all the workouts are personalized to you and your goals. And we have different training programs for different goals. So whether that's a couch to 1K, or you're training for an open water swim or a triathlon, or you want to improve your endurance or improve your speed, improve your individual medley, whatever your goal is, the training programs are dynamically personalized to you, and they incorporate all these drills that I talked about so you can take your swimming to the next level. So if you're not already in the MySwimPro app, make sure you check it out. And finally, make sure you're in the MySwimPro Global Community Group. It's on Facebook. It's a VIP group, absolutely free to join, and I'll see you in there with over 10,000 swimmers from all over the world, over 100 countries actually. We've got a global community, so make sure you join it, and finally, subscribe to the channel and like this video. I wish you guys the very best. I'll see you in the next video, and happy swimming.